Hello, everyone. Welcome to our part two slash book two slash leftovers slash five takes that Eric has that we didn't get in the first part that we put out on Friday. And this is now, we're just going to go through this again. We're going to go through, the remaining takes that Eric had, mainly because it was only a few. We couldn't fit them all in for the sake of time. And we had a lot of fun doing this, so we hope that you will have fun and maybe laugh at some of our, opinions here. So, Eric, it's all yours.
Yeah, so I guess the point is, the message that I'm getting is that you guys like hearing me talk so much and you think that I'm so right that you want to hear more. So let's kick it off.
Let's debate that, shall we?
No, thank you. So it's often said, especially from, sort of like outside fans, that 2112 is Rush's greatest song or something along those lines. What I would say is that while it is their breakthrough song, Xanadu is objectively their best song. Ryder.
Best song or best epic?
Best song. Best song.
Oh. I'm not going to think about all 167 Rush songs, so I'm just going to say great take.
Thank you, Todd.
I'm gonna say let's debate, because I think if you simplified it to Xanadu's better than 2112, then it would be great take. But I don't think Xanadu is their best song.
So then what is?
Well, you're asking me. I'm gonna say Marathon. So
interesting.
Alex? All right, you can host the next one. That's a hot take.
Alex?
First of all, I'm gonna great take Todd on that. But I'm gonna debate that and say very similar actually to what Todd said. If you left it at like the epics, yeah, I will 100% agree with that. But I think if you get into it being the best song total, like I don't even think 2112 is the greatest song Rush ever did. I will say that 2112 is like could be like one of the best epics, but songs I think like I would not play 2112 or Xanadu for one of my friends like first thing. And that's kind of how I'm like when I'm judging this off of right now. That would maybe come later, but that would not be first thing.
That's fair. Adam?
Let's debate. Agree with the first part of if it was just between 2112 and Xanadu wins it out, but definitely a hard disagree on Xanadu being their best song. Even if it's just talking about the epics, I feel Hemispheres is the best epic, and I feel that there are plenty of other shorter songs that are better than Xanadu.
So if you objectively had to point to one and say this is the greatest thing they ever wrote, what would you say?
I would need months of study to come to that.
Fair enough, Ryan.
Xanadu is certainly objectively top 3 for Rush, and for me, it may vary on the day. So I'll say great take. I think certain days I will see that as the greatest Rush song that they ever wrote.
Nick?
Dude, Xanadu's not even better than La Villa Strangiata. Don't get me wrong, it's a great song, but Villa's above Xanadu. And 2112, Yins are tripping if you don't think that's their best epic. My goodness. 2112, whew. Nah, but to me, 2112 is not their best song, though. So I will, I guess, agree on that take. Yeah. I don't even know what I would say their best song is. It's my favorite song is Subdivisions, but I wouldn't even say that's their best song. Objectively speaking, I play Spirit of Radio whenever I'm trying to introduce Rush to somebody. I mean, I know that's the popular song. Can't play the radio song good. Shut up. That song's fantastic. I put it on my lifting playlist, okay? But no, 2112 to me, though, is objectively their most important song. Without 2112, that band fails. Neil goes back to selling auto parts. Geddy does whatever, and Alex probably joins another band. He probably ends up as another guitar player, Max Webster. So no, 2112 objectively is their most important song.
I'd agree with that. So for the next one, the Presto album as a whole would be a lot more popular among Rush fans if the mix quality sounded a lot more like Counterparts than it does Presto. So if all the songs stayed exactly the same and the mix was just more like Counterparts, it would be way more popular. Ryder?
100% great take. Presto's already a top 5 Rush album for me personally. And my only complaint is the mixing, because it's pretty much immediately preceded by Counterparts. That would easily make it my absolute favorite album, hands down. Great take.
Interesting, Todd.
Great take. Make Neil louder and put some more, turn the bass up, and it goes even higher than it already is in my ranking.
All right, Alex.
Great take, but I do still like Presto though. Like the mixing on Presto is not good, but I have an air for liking bad things in my life, so I like it. It does sound different, but I will great take that.
Which must be why you like Far Cry. Adam?
Boo!
Great take.
Ryan?
Great take.
Nick?
Oh my God, that's your best take you've had yet by far. I need to hear Chain Lightning live with some balls.
Listen, he may even come around on Superconductor.
No, that keeps it from being top 5. It's a top 10 album already. It could get in the top 5. You delete that and remix it with, if they re-record it the way they did Counterparts. But yeah, it needs some oomph.
Get Caveman on there, Kevin Shirley, and
be in good shape. Keeping with the Presto theme, the album as a whole is top 3. Each song, album as a whole, top 3 for Neil's drumming. Ryder?
Ooh. I agree. Great take.
Todd?
Yeah, I'm going to say great take too, because I can't think of anything that could to argue that.
Alex?
To effectively argue it.
So just to clarify, you're saying Presto as a whole, the album is top 3 on all of Neil's drum work.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to debate it.
Would you say it's up there, or would you say no?
I would
5?
say it's definitely within the top 10. I will definitely put it there. It's not like none of it's bad. Obviously, I love Presto. Like I would say that, but I don't think I could put it as high as top 3.
Interesting. Adam?
Let's debate. Similar to Alex, I don't think that I could, for my personal ranking, put it that high, but it's definitely, I think, because what you're going for with the way you phrased it is as far as a whole album and a cohesive look at the drumming. I think it still is up there. I would probably put it top 10, if not top 7. But I think that there are other ones that underscore his drumming prowess in album form.
Okay, fair enough. Ryan?
Great take. No, wait, hold on. Let's
Thank
debate.
you. Nick,
What I meant to say was great take to what Adam just said. He's a musician. He knows what he's talking about. I second everything he said. So let's debate. And I agree with Adam. So Adam, great take. Eric, no.
Unbelievable.
I'm tired.
Got my hopes up. Nick?
How is this even a topic when you can't even hear the drums?
I thought the same thing.
You can't even hear the drums. Like I'm sitting here thinking like, is
like
it
maybe,
really? And I'm
yeah,
like,
right.
Maybe. I mean,
Sure.
Presto live, the drumming was pretty good, but like, I don't know because you can't hear the drums. Now, granted, when I listen to all the live versions of songs where you can actually hear the drumming, got to debate with you, dude. Like every album after Presto, the drumming was better in my opinion, and probably about half the albums before it too. I mean, just his drumming on songs like YYZ and Villa, Tom Sawyer, like just that drumming alone to me. I mean, his drumming on Clockwork Angels was incredible. So yeah, man. But again, don't know if I'm actually right or wrong on that because you can't hear the drums.
So once we do the mix of counterparts on Presto, everyone will agree with me is what I'm hearing.
Perhaps.
I'm glad we're in agreement.
Let's ask Martin Popoff. I'm sure he'll agree with that.
You have his phone number too? Gonna pull it out?
I do actually, yes.
All the goodness. All right, keeping with the drumming theme, Neil's single bass kit looks cooler than his double bass kit. Ryder.
Oh, geez. Well, when it went to single bass, it's still technically double bass because there's one behind him. So I don't know.
Okay, Neil's double bass kit looks cooler than the triple bass kit.
No, I don't know. I think I'm gonna say let's debate because after he kind of hit like the main single kit, that was kind of when everything started like really expanding around him. It's when he started adding in all the electronics and stuff. And that's personally just like, the drum kits I like more.
Okay. Todd?
I got to say great take on that one.
Alex?
I'll say great take with the asterisks of I genuinely cannot say I've paid too much attention to Neil's drum kits outside of the pattern on them. I'm not a drummer. I don't know. You could show me a drum. I'll be like, that's a drum. That's it. I can't tell you which kind of drum it is. So I'll leave it there.
Okay. Adam?
So you're saying that the one with two kick drums is not as good as the ones where you went to single kick drum?
Yes.
Let's debate only because having more of the physical instruments around him rather than the electronic triggers, I think put a better spectacle for the concerts. And I think there was a little bit of that showmanship lost because he wasn't having to get up out of his chair to hit the bells, and he wasn't having to give the impression that he's just a full percussion section in an orchestra. But I think workmanship and quality of the drums definitely improved. But as far as looking at it in concert form, I prefer the double kick drum.
Interesting point. Ryan?
What? Okay, I am not a drummer. I like Goji said, I paid no attention to the setups over the years. To me, drummers, to quote Alex in his rants, they hit round things with wooden things. What was the setup for Time Machine and Clockwork?
So Time Machine and Clockwork are single bass. If you
That's
do
what
R40, if you do R40, the first set is single bass, the second set is double bass.
That's also what I thought. Okay, I like single bass better. So what's the
single? I
questioning?
think single bass is cooler. Looks cooler.
I would agree. Great take.
Okay, Nick.
I was about to say great take because man, he had some cool sets, especially the Snakes and Arrows set. That set was sick. But two things I got to debate. One, the single bass set messed up his knee, if you'll recall, on the R40 tour. He was all like messed up. He had to like make adjustments because it was all messed up. That's number one. And number two, that double was so iconic. And if you don't believe me, Eric, do me a favor and just kind of dip down. Just like do this thing. Do this.
Do what? What do you want me to do?
He wants to see your virtual background.
Dip down.
You want to see what?
He wants
Dip
to
to
see
the
your
side.
virtual background.
Dip to the side.
You want to see what?
Ah!
What do you want to see?
Hey, that's the album with What You're Doing, your favorite song. Let's
And
go.
before and after.
Yeah.
It's got before and after too. I'll be darned.
If I might, real quick, since Ryan asked for that clarification, I'll great take that because Time Machine has the best drum set, in my opinion. So I'll great take.
Yes, it does. We got one more for you. The 2000s plus era. So Vapor Trails, Snakes and Arrows, Clockwork Angels. Once again, I'll use the word dramatically. dramatically better than the 90s era of Roll the Bones counterparts.
How did I
and
know
Test
you were
for
going to
Echo.
ask this?
Ryder?
Oh god. Okay, so we are, for those who don't know the albums, we're going through
So it's 3 and
Roll
3
the Bones.
comparatively.
Yeah, 3
yes.
and 3. Roll the Bones, Counterparts, Test for Echo versus Vapor Trails, Snakes and Arrows, and Clockwork Angels.
And
Now, if
I'm
you
trying to
know,
make it easy for you.
probably about a year ago too, I had the same debate topic. I was team 90s and versing 2000s plus. And
Dramatically better.
Dramatically
Way
better. I'm going to stick with my guns from that debate, and I'm going to argue with that. I think that the spectacle of the 2000s was great. I think Vapor Trails is an incredible album, Snakes and Arrows, and all the tours that came with them. They had so much stuff going on. But I just prefer listening to the songs from the 90s more than I do the 2000s. I think they're just more listenable, which, whatever. That's just my personal opinion. I like a lot more of the musical ideas. I like the theming. I just think overall, personally for me, I think the 90s has more to revisit.
You're allowed to be wrong. Todd, what do you think?
Let's debate. I think I wouldn't change anything about the 2000s, but I think counterparts alone I like better than anything out of the 2000s. And so, yeah, basically what Ryder said plus that.
0 for 2. Alex, what do you think?
I'm muted. I forgot to hit the button. Real quick, give me a refresher on what you said.
So I think that the set of Vapor Trails, Snakes and Arrows, and Clockwork Angels is way better, not even close, to the set of Roll the Bones, Counterparts, and Test for Echo.
Okay, I'm gonna debate this, and yet I'm sort of gonna agree with you. It's weird, and I'm aware I'm about to come at this from a weird way. Let me explain. I think Roll the Bones and Counterparts are better. I do not like Test for Echo. I'm gonna it's good. It's good-ish. It's like when it comes on.
Whenever I do someone in Zoom.
Whenever I do a full marathon of the albums all at once, I'm never the happiest to get through Test for Echo until it's done. Put it that way.
Well said. Well said.
But I would say as a whole, Clockwork Angels is better than all of them. So that's where I'm kind of finding it hard. Like, I don't know where to agree with you here, because in most instances, I'd rather listen to Roll the Bones or Counterparts over Snakes and Arrows or Vapor Trails. I'd rather listen to those two from the 90s, but I adore Clockwork Angels, especially after this past winter when I found the book. Read the book. If you have not read this, read it. It is so good. It is like genuinely. I looked at that album completely different. So Clockwork Angels was mid for a while. Then I read this book. Now it's top 3.
Mid. So you wouldn't say that the 2000s is dramatically better than the 90s?
I would say Clockwork Angels as a whole is dramatically better than the 90s, but I don't think that counts as the 2000s.
Okay. Adam?
Well, yeah, it does. They just said it does.
No, but like for all of it. Like I don't think like that one
whole
album counts for the entirety
so
of
you're saying Snakes and Arrows and Vapor Trails drag Clockwork Angels down then by that logic.
Well, no, because I love those too. I love both those albums as well. But like I would rather.
But then it's a great take. You're dude.
It's an odd stance to come from. Because I would rather listen to Clockwork than any of that. Like
what I'm hearing,
all of that.
What I'm hearing is that you think the 2010s are more dramatically better than the 2000s and 90s. How about that?
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
Naturally, he thinks that I'm right. Adam, what do you think?
Let's debate. To use the word dramatically better, you'd have to say that everything about the 2000s is substantially better. Whereas I think Geddy's voice is substantially better in the 90s than it was in the 2000s. he has some of his best vocal performances on Test for Echo, which you hate. But even though Clockwork Angels and a lot of Snakes and Arrows have some excellent vocal work, there are other tracks where you can really see that Geddy's age has caught up to his voice, and he just has some weaker moments in there, which aren't, they aren't terrible, but they definitely don't hold up to the rest of what is going on musically. And so I can't in good conscience say that it's just heads above everything that happened in the 90s, because also different eras of music, different reflections that they're giving to the music scene. So I think in some cases the 2000s, especially with Clockwork Angels, as a whole album, it really is excellent, but I don't think it overshadows everything that they did in the 90s.
Okay. Ryan?
Like I said, I knew you were going to ask this, and I not because you told me anything, I just knew this was coming, and I thought about this for months, and I still don't have a good answer. I need clarity, though. Are you talking subjectively or objectively? Because to me,
Yes.
they differ.
Yes, either one.
Well, all right. I guess technically both. Great take, because to Goji's point, I think Clockwork Angels objectively is the best album of those six, counterparts being second. But I think then if you take Vapor Trails and Test for Echo, the discussion we had in part one, I think they're kind of neck and neck. And I think both objectively and subjectively, Snakes and Arrows towers over Roll the Bones. So I would agree. I had to explain that. I know I'm supposed to just say great take, but that is something that I had to explain because that's been killing me for months, just thinking about it in my head, preparing for what was to come.
I'm glad I could bring you some clarity. Nick,
Great
what do you think?
I have to kind of do what Ryan didn't explain, because when Riders started, I was like, dramatic. Well, hold on, get rid of that word dramatically. What are you talking about? Like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, and I was thinking about like quality and all that. But then as we went on, we started talking. I started thinking about like Rush in the 2000s and 2010s as opposed to the 90s, and beyond just the albums. I mean, if you're just talking albums, I could debate that back and forth all day, every day, because there's songs off Roll the Bones I like better than a lot of songs off the 2000s albums. But I like all three of the 2000s albums as a whole better than Roll the Bones. But then maybe I don't know. It's a toss up with albums. But then I start to think about Rush, the entity. It didn't exist for 3 years in the 90s. They didn't start touring without a band until that final tour of the 90s, 96, 97. And then you go to the 2000s and you come into Rush and Rhea. And I mean, the band, the 2000s, when the band came back, it was they came back. I mean, they came back with a vengeance. Like and then you go into 2007, like we said before about Snakes and Arrows. I think Snakes and Arrows is on the level of, in terms of importance, of Moving Pictures and 2112, because you look at that era and you look at, they started getting mainstream popularity finally and started getting the recognition they deserved, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about it. I had friends listening to Rush. And I think about Feedback came out in the 2000s. I know it's not a Rush album, but like, I remember that era.
That's the deal breaker.
I remember Feedback. Feedback was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. It was my favorite band playing good songs that they enjoyed. And My Favorite Headache came out in 2000. So they just put out more music in the 2000s, 2010s. And personally, subjectively for me, I saw Rush for the first time in 2007. So subjectively speaking, yes, the 2000s, 2010s are dramatically better than the 90s. Sorry for explaining a great take. I know we're not supposed to do that, like Ryan said, but I've come to realize that this is my era of Rush. The 2000, well, was, because not anymore.
Yeah.
That was my era. That was Ryan's era.
Yep. I'm with you.
Well, that was all of our errors, other than maybe Todd. Todd and the kids. This episode is.
Yeah.
All right. We will wrap there. That is it. That's all you have. Yes, Eric. That's it.
For now, unless you want me to make more.
No, I think
I know you love listening to me talk.
we'll save that. We'll save that for next time. Yeah, viewers, Rush Roundtable at rushfans.net if you want to come on and join any episode. Maybe you want to host one of these and share all your hot takes and see what people agree or disagree with. But yeah, with that, next episode of Rush Roundtable, a fun one. That'll be next Friday, and we'll see you all then. Take care, everybody.